Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Fortunate. We are here with another episode with The Smoke Presents. We got a special one in store for you guys today. But first, definitely got to give a shout out to a couple of people and let you know who's bringing you this podcast. This podcast is brought to you by 52s and Smoke Entertainment. This is the podcast network that's going to be bringing you a whole bunch of content in the future. Keep an eye out. We got a new podcast starting very soon called Made with Smoke, brought to you by your same favorite personalities from Fantasy Outsiders. The Made with Real podcast will be coming soon to a channel near you on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Especially check us out on YouTube. This will be our first podcast that we will have audio as well as video. So, you know, we're stepping it up in the 52s and Smoke world. Please be there for us. We're going to be there for you with all the entertainment you need. Now, today, I got some special people sitting around the table with me. This is going to be a very interesting one. This podcast today, the episode is called This is a Safe Space. And I'm going to tell you, it is the safest space that you'll ever find. So let me introduce you to my comrades who I got around with me. First off, to my left, my man EP. What's up, man?
How's it going?
EP, DP. We're not gonna do DP. And I got my boy Dumpling over here. How you doing?
What's up, man?
Listen, there's gonna be a lot of jokes about your name throughout this entire podcast. Don't take it offensive. And last but not least, the man, the myth, the legend, Mezzy.
What's up?
What's happening, man? How you feeling?
I feel good.
Feeling good, feeling great. So yeah, man, this is a safe space podcast. I'm glad I'm doing this with you guys. And bro, I'm interested to find out how deep down the rabbit hole we're going to go today.
As deep as possible.
As deep as possible.
As far as it
As
goes.
deep as possible. Okay. So before we get too deep, because I think this is not too deep, this Jussie Smollett situation. I don't think it's too deep. I think it's fucking crazy.
Just a little bit of foreplay, not too deep.
Yeah, it's not too deep. We'll get deeper later,
It's
right?
just
now?
the tip.
It's just the tip. So what are your thoughts on it?
It's ridiculous.
It's kind of, yeah. I mean, that's no need to be said. It's fucking crazy what he did. It's disgusting, the lies that he told, the fucking interview he did with, what was her name? Robin from the morning show.
Oh, I did not see that.
Bro.
That one's crazy. Because you wanted him
His
to be telling the
conviction.
truth. You're like, I really don't want to be lying.
His conviction, I feel like he should definitely be able to get another job in acting because he did very well.
Yeah.
He believed
I don't want an
himself.
Oscar for that.
He
Could've,
believed
yeah.
himself.
He found those tears
And
out of nowhere.
You know people like die with the lie?
Yeah.
He's definitely going to die. He's going to jail. He's probably going to get... I'm going to take it there. If you are a gay man and you go to jail,
It's heaven.
if butt rape is on the table,
Oh, yeah.
is that the spot?
That's the main course.
No. That's wrong. Honestly. I mean, it's a funny joke, but at the same time, I think my gay friends would tell me that, no, it's just like anything else.
That's insensitive.
That's
That's
right.
ignorant.
That is ignorant. That's
It is.
ignorant. But yeah, man, what would lead somebody to do something that stupid? Like I don't get it. You can't be that mad at your job. You making money, first of all. You're not a superstar, but you're a star. You're an actor. You're doing pretty damn decent, I guess.
But how the hell is that any way to take that out on your job? How is that going to improve things at work?
Yeah, because he did it to get a
I don't
raise
know.
or something, right?
He wanted more money. He had a career, a music career that was coming, and he wanted to get some publicity, probably some fucking sympathy in some sort of way for people to try to stream his music and stuff like that, which would make him more of an icon. Which I guess when he re-signed a contract with Empire, it would give him more power to say, "I want more money" because he's a bigger star. Maybe,
But you shouldn't have to do that. I
shouldn't
think
have
he was
to do
trying to have a message or prove a point, but he was doing it in the worst way you could.
but what point is he
I mean,
proving?
that doesn't even make any sense.
No, I mean, he was
Why get beat up to get a raise? Like,
I think he was trying to have some kind of pity, or if I ask for this and they say no, in the back of their mind they remember what happened.
Right. Okay. I can see that. This
Which again is horrible because there's people in the communities, the minority communities that he's part of,
yeah,
that actually have issues that happen to them.
exactly. That's why he's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, making light of a situation. No, not really. I don't know. It's just ignorance to.
He's making light of people's real life issues. You know what I'm saying? Things that they go through on a regular basis. And, I hope they put him under the jail, to tell you the truth. Like, after watching that interview, because I didn't see it when it first came out. Of course, I heard Joe Budden. I heard Joe Budden do his whole thing and how he thought it wasn't real. And I was looking at Joe Budden sideways for a minute. I was like, man, listen, I respect you. I like what you're doing. But this is the first time that I don't know if I agree, but I heard him out. I heard out Joe Budden. I was like, he got some points, okay? But then when I saw the interview, and then the more the information came out, I was like, this is wild. Mm-hmm. This is extremely, extremely over the top because you want to raise. Like, what's the worst thing you've ever did for a raise?
Not that.
No? No.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing at all.
None?
No.
I'm still waiting for one.
I'll let you know when it happens.
Right. I don't know, man. I just that guy is definitely one of the worst people in the world. And you know what I heard? I heard people were gonna forgive him at some point in time. The culture we have right now, the way people forgive, and move on. You can do something terrible, and then 6 months later, nobody's talking about it because we want information so fast. Everything moves so fast. People forget. Something's an issue today. 2 weeks later, it's not an issue. This ain't gonna
Do
forget
you
him.
think that'll happen?
I mean,
with
people
this?
will probably forgive him, but his career is over.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I
if they
mean,
forgive
like,
him-
think about all the other people in Hollywood or in general
what I mean?
that
Yeah.
do horrible things.
Mhm.
I mean, that,
But and that's
a
the
lot
thing.
of things get thrown under the bus, you know?
They do.
And
They
then-
do. But then we've also seen a lot of people start paying for it. Like,
Oh, Cosby, Kelly.
you know, the whole cancel
Yeah.
culture is out there now. So possibly,
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because it's kind of like people don't forget anymore, I think.
Hmm.
Now is the generation where people, like, stand up for those things and they don't let it go. Like, you know, like Cosby
We finally
and
listened
Kelly.
to the elephants.
Yeah,
Never
we're not
forget.
like, well, he did that one thing, whatever. Look at all this talent that
Yeah.
person has. Now it's like, whoa, we got to think about what just happened.
So the culture still moves on quickly, but they cancel you, and that's just it. It's over. It's over
Yeah.
for you. I'm not going to talk about you no more. I think a week and a half from now, nobody's ever going to talk about this again. But he's going to be done if he ever does try to step back into.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Limelight.
What's that one director? I forgot his name.
Starts
Starts with a W. His last
know,
name, right?
Weinstein.
Yeah,
Weinstein.
think about him. Like, he was doing it for the longest time.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, we gotta
Yeah, they
do
cancel.
something about this.
He's done.
Is he the one that like got sexual favors or something?
Oh, all the
Yeah,
time.
you know.
Yeah, basically.
Pressing actors, and you'll get this
Right.
role, or I'll help you into this movie if you know.
Yeah, and a lot of
Jingle my
people that
balls.
were starting up in the
Didn't he do it to guys
acting,
too?
they wanted
Brendan
to be like,
Fraser?
whatever.
No, that was a different.
He
thing.
did it to Brendan Fraser.
No, different director. I think came out of the same
different
time, though.
director. Jeez,
Holy crap! bro.
Hollywood's a messed
crazy
up
world,
place,
man.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. Why is Hollywood so fucked up? Is it the money?
I mean, money does
Money,
talk.
money
Yeah.
and fame.
I mean, money talks, but does it pervert? Is my question. Like, why does it equal perversion, or just like you just automatically shed or become this monster? Like, I don't get it. I don't think money would
There's
change
a lot
that
of. I
much.
mean, there's a lot of poison in the power that they have because
Yeah,
they
it's
can
like-
easily make someone's life
So it's more
an
the
actor
power.
or actress, or they can say nope, and then they may never get another break.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like you have, the
And they
power.
know that, but at the same time, it's like
So it's more the
It's like-
power than the money. The money brought you the power, and then the power is what
Oh,
perverted
it's all
you.
about power, man.
Yeah.
It's like if you got power, it's like, what do you want? What are you gonna do for this?
Right. Yeah.
You know, and he can take, or whoever can take advantage of it.
Because somebody used to tell me that money will make you. It would just, what's the word? Where you amplify who you really are. Right. If you have a lot of money, it's going to amplify who you really, really are. I don't think everybody with money is a fucking pervert.
But then there's Hugh Hefner. But then there's Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, I mean, Hugh Hefner.
Do you
is a
think
whole
he
nother-
would have that
piece.
life if he didn't have all that money?
Was Hugh Hefner a
I
fucking?
think that was a thing of the times too.
I don't know.
man.
I mean,
Like,
he was like 90 years old and he had like 4 girlfriends and they're like 25.
Why was that
were
accepted?
they really like? I mean,
He probably paid
Were they
him.
really
to-
his girlfriend?
yeah, like that old
He's like,
balls.
I'll give you
like, come
$2 million if you change your Facebook status to Hugh Hefner. You and me.
You and me. What?
Like Hugh Hefner and
$2 million is a lot of money just to change a Facebook status,
Hey.
man.
I mean, I would, but still. What my question is now, Hugh Hefner, at what point wasn't that looked at in a certain way? Like his whole deal, what did he do? He started the magazine, right?
yeah.
Were they underage?
No.
Let's be
No.
honest.
No,
You
I
sure?
don't think-
Everybody
no, I don't
sure?
think-
This
Everybody
wasn't
sure
an R.
about
Kelly.
that?
No.
No, they were all 18 or older.
Well,
Hopefully.
I would assume so.
Is 18 enough? I mean, it's the law.
Yeah, that's the
I
law.
was going to say it's a lot.
It's
yeah.
the law. So I guess it is enough. But honestly, it still feels weird if this 44-year-old guy is going to look for 18-year-olds to fucking take pictures of naked. That's okay because they're 18.
Well, is it?
It was just 17.
He's just selling them after all, though. That's
But some of them became part of the mansion and brought in and probably was a girlfriend at some point in time as he went through his girlfriends. He didn't have the same girlfriends for the last 30 years or 50 years. I'm pretty sure he swapped them out. If you got that many chicks,
He swapped
you
them
had
out.
to. You swap them out by the day if need be. As many girls that he had.
What are you trying to say? So is it okay?
At 18, that still wasn't look crazy.
Well-
It wasn't look that crazy. Because think about it. Weinstein, the people that he was abusing were adults. They were 22. They were older. They were in the.
well. He Weinstein was also going to destroy their careers if they didn't.
I guess that's the part of it. The fact that
The
he
way
held their
it gave
destruction
them,
over their head.
I think it gave the girls the opportunity to further their career.
Yeah,
Right.
I
You
guess
know what I mean? Like get publicity out of it. Like
Weinstein?
no,
Hefner.
Hefner,
You know what I'm
alright.
saying?
Yeah.
They could be a model, whatever.
It's actually the same concept, just a different scenario.
Yeah.
There was no
Yeah.
negative backlash.
Exactly.
I would say that we know of.
Yeah.
That we know of.
Same,
Just
same,
me never
but
came.
different.
You know, same. But hey, that's crazy though. I don't know, man. But Smollett and Weinstein.
Well, is this a conversation about toxic masculinity?
What do you mean by that?
Like, all these dudes are rich, and does that pervert them, and then they become toxic?
You know, is there
Or were
been
they
any-
toxic before? That's what I mean by
has there
money
been
amplifying.
Any kind of female role like this?
That's done.
Like a female, yeah, like a role. Anybody?
I've heard about this.
Because
maybe
these are all
once.
males, right? Obviously.
Yeah. You know, the whole thing, men can't be raped, which is a lie. Is it? It is. It's a lie.
Well, what did I say the other day? You can't rape the willing.
You can't rape the willing, but they're not all willing. And then some people,
There's a
we're not talking about pedophilia because we know that's a whole
Yeah,
different
yeah,
thing.
that's a different
when older women may molest a young boy, even if they are willing, it's still molestation
Well, it's
because
like
they're
these
too young.
teachers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the teachers.
schools, yeah.
Teachers.
That
shit like
happens
that.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not a lot, but more than you would think.
well, and then the court
exactly.
cases are all weird. Like, I don't know if you've read up on any of them, but it's like it's kind of like, way to go, kid. And it's like,
I was going to actually say that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
see?
that's the whole reason that a lot of these things were again pushed under the rug because like
They get kudos.
Playboy is mainly for guys, and they so it's like guys that see Hugh Hefner lives with him, they're like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
So of
Yeah,
course,
it's
no
'cause
one's going to
we're
get any.
older, right?
Yeah.
But if we were at that age when we were like 15, we're like, yo, we wouldn't be thinking like that. You
No.
know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. In my personal situation, if a friend of mine was to get with an older woman, or it's going to be presented to us that way. He's not going to tell us, hey, she came on to me and I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. He's going to present it like, you know, Mrs. So-and-so from down the street, we fucked. And I'll be like, what? For real? And then he's going to get his props from it. But it could have been a situation where whoever from down the street was preying on this younger 15-year-old dude, but it's just not going to be presented that way. So are they the willing, or are they really being abused and don't know any better? I don't know. I don't know.
it's a good question.
Shit, I
Yeah.
don't know. I wish I could ask my friend. This happened when I was younger. Right? He's messing with an older lady. We never looked at it any other way but like, you the man. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think I was having sex
Well,
at the time.
Flip flop the rules. If it was an older man and a younger girl,
Yeah, that's nasty.
nobody would say, "Damn, that chick's the man."
No, they're
No,
not.
they'd
They'd
be like, "That's gross."
You're gross.
Yeah.
You're either
So,
being taken
when
advantage
did
of or
when
you're
did
a
it
whore.
become for guys that like, oh, dude, he's the man. He's with an older chick.
When your
When did
uncle
that happen?
or your dad told you need to fuck these girls.
But this is like a historic
That's when it
thing,
happened.
man. Like,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
what I'm
nothing
saying.
new.
It's systemic from every man. You look at your boy different than you look at your girl, and you're looking at your boy saying, "Yeah, I want you to enjoy these skins out here. Go enjoy." And that get into your head early from your friends, uncles, older people that you know.
I think it's the same thing when you're in like high school or whatever, and this guy's like, oh, I banged all these chicks, and they're like, oh, he's the man. But if a girl does it, she's a slut, even if it was willing,
Double
and everybody
standard.
was like
Double
okay
standard.
with it. Yeah, that's the double
Right.
standard. And I again like to bring back what I said. I think it's like the age of, the truth, where it's just not like
You're not
You know?
masking over it with these
Yeah.
old ideological things that have been passed down. You're looking at it for what it is.
yeah. So everybody can kind of have their own not opinion, but they can speak for how they feel now versus like before when it was like a male-dominated industry and pretty much everything. Women have a lot of say now.
Right. Well, and that gives me the question that Dumpling asked. Has there been a woman who's taken advantage of an of-age male and it's been reported or heard about or anything like that? Let's not talk about the teachers or the young people.
I haven't found anything on Google yet.
Like for their gain? Is that what you mean? Or
Well, I mean, just the same Weinstein type of situation where they're either holding something over their head, the woman is getting something from this younger man that she wants, obviously, and using his fear of losing out or being hurt by not complying against him. Has there been a situation? Matter of fact, I know we don't know of a situation because everybody would probably know of that one or two instances.
The ones I'm thinking about are the other way around. With
I can't.
Right, the men and the woman. It's always the man and the woman. So, I mean, the older person being the man or the person in power being the man and not the woman. Do we think it would be wrong just the same? Would you feel bad?
I mean, it should be, but society sees it as probably no. Right?
How do you see it? That's what I'm saying. How do you see it? I mean, like, let's really get down to it. If right now our bosses, or anybody in, our chain of command, female, asked for a sexual favor from us in order for a gain in money or position or power, would you feel abused or would you see it as an opportunity?
Definitely abused.
You would feel abused.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Would you do it though?
No.
How much money are we talking about here?
That's what I'm saying. Like if it's life-changing money, I'm talking about life-changing money, life-changing positioning or power. Would you, deep down in your soul right now, would you do it? One, and two, would you feel abused or used, or would you just do it and not care? Mezzy,
I like how you look right at me.
because you're so different. You're a very
Mezzy is like really like
he's a very wholesome person.
yeah. So he would probably say no.
Yeah. But that's what
Me,
makes you.
I don't care. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go.
You would do it, and you wouldn't feel any kind of way about it. You wouldn't
No.
feel abused,
I got-
used.
I got money for it. I mean, look, if the fact is, it's like you have your own choice, right? You can
You
do
got a
yes or
choice.
no. But if you say
Right.
no, what happens when you say no?
Well, I guess that's
Oh.
now.
Right?
If you say no, they're going to demote you. Let's say they're just going to demote you. If you say yes, life-changing thing happens.
Right.
If you say no, you just get demoted. You're not
But
completely
what am I
blackballed.
giving up?
The
what am I-
draws.
Life-changing money.
You giving up the draws. Oh, to the boss. You giving up the draws. You-
Fuck it, yeah.
Wait, his b-hole, is that what he's
well, I mean,
giving
you're
up?
not giving up the booty hole. That's just what I'm saying.
You can keep that.
So sexual
It's all
pleasures.
yours.
Sexual
to
pleasures.
get higher
Sexual
up.
pleasures. They
Gotcha.
probably want some oral
Yeah,
and some
I'll do it. Like
good
fuck
old
it.
missionary.
You
You
do
can
what
do
you.
it.
Good old
Yeah.
missionary.
Fuck it.
You do it.
Keep
You're
it
not gonna feel bad
generic.
about it.
I
You're
mean, yeah, not gay stuff, right? You talking about?
No, not
yeah,
gay
yeah,
stuff.
I don't think you can be gay with a woman.
But you would do it,
yeah.
and
I'll
you
do it.
wouldn't feel like you're being abused or used.
What if that woman has a penis?
Now
That's a surprise that you
that's a
didn't know of.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh well, I'm gonna
Surprise.
tell everybody you got a dick unless you get me up there.
Well, there you go. Now you got some, some leverage. But you say you're not gonna feel no kind of way. EP, what do you?
Oh man, I'm torn.
I see what you said. I get it.
Reference. It could go either way. I guess it just depends on the day how I'm feeling.
Does-
I mean, it's
does
been a
it depend-
while.
If he's
so,
feeling
like,
really lonely.
Does it depend on if she's hot?
yeah, yeah.
But you see, this is what I've been thinking about.
I know,
Right?
I'm-
I thought about this. So it's like the choices you make, right? So the person come to you is like, hey, if you want to, you want to be successful, you do this for me, right? So that person shouldn't even be in that position in the first place. That person of power shouldn't even be there.
Boom, abuse of power.
Abuse of power, right?
Right.
But they're still there and they're still going to do it no matter what. So nobody stops them. So how do you stop them from abusing their power?
The person who's being abused has to speak up.
Yeah, but nobody does it.
Exactly.
Why is that?
Because there's
no
a fear.
men do it. No men do it.
Oh.
No women were doing it because of the fear, but now it's starting to come out. And that's what I'm saying is the difference. I think men have been conditioned into a way where they're not going to report it. They're not going to say
so
anything.
then whose fault is it really then?
The men?
Why would it be the men? It's the woman that didn't speak up, right?
If it's the men's fault for our stories not being out,
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's different.
then it's also the women's fault for their stories not being out,
I
or
mean,
if
they're
it's
both
happening
at
for so
fault,
long.
but-
Is that what we're saying? You can't blame them. You
Yeah,
can't make
no,
them.
it's society's fault. This is the thing we've created where, it's a double standard. The
It
man
is.
comes out, they're perceived in a negative light.
But then that's what I also think is like the person that's getting abused can either choose to do it or not to do it, and
Right.
they still choose to do it.
So is this a choice
So-
of self? This
So
all
yeah,
boils
the
down to
self,
the
like,
person.
morals or whatever, right? But then isn't that their fault? Then they can't really blame it on that person who's abusing power when they chose to be like, yeah, I'll do it to like what I said.
I see what you're saying,
You
but
get
I
what I'm saying?
cannot fault women who are being put in an impossible situation, because that's what's happening. They're being put in an impossible situation to make a choice. So it's not you can make the choice, but it's hard. It's hard.
This boils down to abuse, like abusing anything or anyone, animals too, like
psychological abuse, boyfriend and girlfriend abuse.
Abuse is wrong.
It's manipulation.
Exactly.
That's the thing, where it seems like a choice. It's really not a choice. You're being manipulated into only having this choice. Truth be told, you have two choices, but the ramifications from the other choice is going to leave you fucked up.
Yeah. So
and to preserve your own life,
so
you can only take that
like
one.
the gender out, right?
Yeah.
It's just a person. So
Right.
another person is telling another person do this and da da da.
Mm-hmm.
So what is right or wrong then?
The person who's manipulating the situation to try to force the other person into a choice that they have no other choice but to make in order to preserve their life, or not to lessen the quality of their life through this choice. You know what I mean? So we can't blame the woman, but for some reason, you want to blame the men.
I think I just want to blame the abuser.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. But when it comes to dudes, we can't even agree here that everybody would say,
Wait, what do you
No.
mean? So like,
If
the
we were-
dude-
if
the
it
dude's
was-
not the abuser, the woman's the abuser. Is that what
when
you're
the
trying to
woman is the abuser, some people will blame the man for making that choice.
say? Right. Okay, I see what you're
When the
saying.
man's the abuser, nobody's going to blame the woman because
It's all the man.
it's a manipulation.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, because men have been
No, it
raised
should be
differently.
it should be the same standard, woman or man. If they're
Mm-hmm.
the abuser should get blamed for whatever it is.
I don't know. I know a lot of people are going to hate us for this, but
We're men. We have a degenerating chromosome
that's the
here.
thing. It's the problem. We just think differently, and things are different. But the abuse is the abuse. I don't blame any woman for ever being abused or
Yeah, of
going
course
through
not.
anything like that. But as far as discussing it and stuff, I see the differences between the way people look at women who are abused and the fact that men look at men who are abused like they're not really abused.
Well, we were talking about this the other day. The commonality with men is suck it up.
Right? Yeah.
You're a dude.
That's actually very true. Like, just suck it up. It's like, that's not always helpful.
You've been told that your whole life about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking
Yeah,
thing.
so that's why I said I answer the way I answer. It's like, fuck it,
Right.
take it, just take it, and then there you go.
Exactly, and that's my point.
Do
that
the
people-
manly thing, bury those emotions deep down,
And then just
and
take
move
it,
on.
and that's it.
And because that's been ingrained in us since we were little, or every guy was little, it's been ingrained in you to do that. When these situations come up, you're not looked at as you're being abused. You just looked at somebody who either taken an opportunity. We can't even decide on how we would react to it when it should initially be, oh, it's bad. It's a bad thing happening. We're like, well, hold on. Is it really that bad? Am I being a pussy if I don't take advantage of this opportunity I got put in front of me? You know what I'm saying? Like, those things are in the back of your head as you're trying to figure out, should you do this or not? Or should I recognize that this is someone trying to abuse me? You're also thinking, it's really probably not that bad, because we've been told to suck it up and just do it. Do what you got to do. You're a man. Move on. God damn it. How did we get here?
Do you think that's also like I'm trying to word it like not a community type thing, but like a racial thing as well? Because
Oh, definitely.
in like maybe like poor communities, or maybe they didn't grow up with parents or like a father figure or something like
Right.
that. Because for me personally, like, it was never like suck it up. It was like,
Right.
we could talk about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well,
Hold on.
Hey,
hold on,
there's
hold on.
another white guy here.
Hold on. You've been taught that you can talk about it.
yeah.
I
will quote what my dad said. He said, "We can talk about anything. Don't keep if something's on your mind, just talk about it."
Okay, I do that to my children right now, but that's not how I was raised.
Exactly.
That's not how I was raised, because my dad was not there, and my mom, she would talk to me about a lot of things.
But it's not the same as a male.
It's not the same as the male, and my mother's message was, hey, you're a man, and this world is going to eat you up and spit you out if you don't fucking tighten up, because she had to try to compensate for a man not being able to teach me how to do manly things. So her thing was, the world will fuck you over unless you get your shit together. You don't have time to do this. You don't have time to do that. You need to man up. And in not so many words. It was more of we had long discussions, but it was never, you can open up to me about anything. It's, when we talk, I'm going to tell you, you need to man up. So that's what I was taught. But your dad was able to say, talk to me about anything, which I try to tell my kids that, but they don't want to talk to me.
Because I feel like anytime we hear stories about, a man in power, it's, in my opinion, a lot of it's insecurities, because they feel something inside of them, but they have money, which is just money. Like, Doesn't matter how you
Yeah.
feel. It's like, hey, I will give you this much money if you do this.
Right.
And they feel like better about themselves, even though deep down inside they know that it was wrong. But money,
That's what
again,
comes
money
up.
talks.
Yeah, money talks and covers up a lot of scars.
Exactly. And that's kind of, I feel it's coming out more with the whole toxic masculinity movement.
Yeah.
But
how far?
But then again, it's another side of that is men have been again called pussies, or if they try to speak out about how they feel.
exactly.
So there's so many things that are coming up now, where there's just all these sides.
Yeah, in my mind, I just called you a pussy.
Thank you.
I was like,
While looking at me,
right. I was just like, you know what? That's probably what I would call you if I didn't know you.
Thank you.
But I know you, and I'm like, no, this dude is just, in touch with a lot of things that I'm not, it don't come second nature to me. And it's clear your upbringing and the openness that you have is different than mine. Makes a big difference.
And it's one of those things too where there's this thing where when you're younger and you're growing up, you always disagree with what your parents are going to say or what they tell you, and then you get older and you're like, "Fuck, they were right." I feel like
Every
that all
time.
the time.
Yeah.
Every fucking
And I'm like,
time.
"Damn it, they were right," but I just because they were my parents, I thought they were wrong.
Yeah. Oh, no. That I try to tell my kids that they don't want to listen. They don't care. But they'll see one day.
They will.
Just like I did. It is what it is. All right. From Jussie Smollett to good dads. Cool. Let's throw another random one out there for y'all. EP.
Oh, which?
The transracial.
Okay, you didn't want Pooh Wizard yet.
Pooh Wizard, we're gonna hold on.
He's going to be on the back burner.
So what is this again? Trans what?
I got a clip for you.
Transracial. Yeah,
Transracial.
cue that guy up because I fully don't understand what this is, but it definitely needs to be heard.
I mean, what is this video about?
Just listen.
Just listen.
Harrison looks from the outside to be your average teenager. He goes to school, plays video games, even listens to music in his room. But there's one difference.
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Harrison, born Antoine Smalls, has transracial identity, identifying as Harrison Booth, a 35-year-old white man from Colorado.
And when did you know that?
The person in the video is a black man who
He just
identifies.
says a white man.
Yeah.
He believes he's a 35-year-old white man.
What's his name? Some Booth.
No, well,
Antoine.
that's
his real name.
Alias.
his alias, his white person name.
His real name's Antoine. When I heard about this, I'm just confused. The first thing it made me think about was Clayton Bigsby. Dave Chappelle's skit of the Black Klansman. That was hilarious. I didn't think they
But
were
he literally doesn't know.
right because he's blind. He
Yeah.
couldn't see himself.
Well, that's the joke.
This guy's
Oh,
not
this guy's
blind.
blind. Oh,
No, this
I was
guy,
gonna say, I
this
was
guy's real. He's out playing
He's
golf
real.
later in the video.
Yeah, he's just a black dude who identifies
Look at him.
wild.
as black. This is
So-
I mean,
That's
as white.
him.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
dreads too.
He's a 35-year-old white guy.
I would not.
Apparently,
expect, I
that's
would
what he
not
believes.
expect that.
Oh yeah, just so you guys can see him too.
Holy
Is
shit!
there a reason why he believed that?
That's what I don't.
No, so later in the video it goes on, and
Yeah.
basically he just decided one day,
Whoa, okay.
white.
He just
I'm white.
decided.
He's like, he looked at his community. He's like, I don't fit in here. Now I'm a white guy. Which is,
But that's
So
Wait, so transracial is a thing?
oh yeah, no, he is not the first.
I want to say no, but I guess
No,
so.
no.
Oh, is that just like something that just
This is
No,
like
no,
this
it
has
is
it
a
always
thing.
been something?
It's a
or is
word.
it just-
Remember
no,
the
it's
woman?
The woman, that's exactly it. So
What
this
was
has
her
been
name?
Google.
I can't remember her name, but she was living as she was like a congresswoman. She worked for the NAACP or something like that.
No, she was the head of the
Head of the NAACP was
Really?
a white woman,
Whoa.
but she lived her life as a black woman. I think she like tanned her skin or darkened it some sort of way, and like just lived as a black woman for a very long time until they outed her as
White.
a
Yeah,
white.
they found a picture of her from her past, and
Right.
she's
I mean-
fucking whiter than me.
So
You can't really.
Is that
I
possible?
don't think transracial should be a thing. Like, is that really
Okay.
possible?
I
that
got a
could be
question.
thing?
I got a question. So, would you put that in the same category as like people that want to change their sex and they feel like at birth I'm different? Because a lot of people really feel like they were born the wrong
Right.
sex
right.
and then they change and that's who they want to live out.
Well-
is that comparable?
Well,
Or no?
It seems like these decisions were made.
I know that's super-
later in
that's-
life.
But it's
Well, yeah.
made through like feelings, right?
But there's
Like,
some people that
emotional
changed, you know, when
stuff,
they're
right?
like-
Well, gender would
35.
be the same thing, I guess.
But they've been
You
feeling it
love
since
who
they
you
were
are.
young.
yeah, gender is the same
So
thing.
he-
but I'm
he-
just saying, like, I mean, we'll get to that gender thing later. But
I don't know, man. It's
Well,
God
okay, let me
damn.
ask. What? So the only reason he changed is he doesn't feel a part of the community?
Or the community he was in.
Yeah, he didn't feel part of
he
it. So
identifies
I mean,
Probably more with-
everybody's an individual.
Right.
But I guess his story is he identifies more with white people.
like,
That doesn't mean
he gets
you're-
along with white
yeah.
people. Is what I was trying
That
to say.
doesn't mean you're a white guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
trying to say. Yeah, that makes no sense
You know
to
what?
me.
That doesn't mean Eminem's a black guy
See, I started to feel like
because he raps.
I started to feel like this was a mental illness thing. But if we break this down into a mental illness thing and it can be applied to other trans things, then I think it's disrespectful when we go out there. But this transracial thing,
I don't know if
feels
it's.
like
I don't think it's
illness.
a.
It's more cultural.
I think he may be
right?
just confused. I don't think it's a mental illness.
It could be a confusion, but I don't know. I don't think gay people are in any sort of way mentally ill or anything like that. I don't want it to be a comparison between the two. But when I hear this story of somebody trying to fit in and their brain tells them the way I'm supposed to adapt to this situation is to become something else, as opposed to I feel like I'm something else. He said,
he feels that way,
but only because he felt out of place.
basically.
Not because he felt that way deep down in his soul ever since. It's why do I feel out of place? Why do I feel out of place?
Is it the
Well,
same
no,
thing?
it's like when you're younger and you're in high school or elementary school and you have a group of friends, different types of groups of friends, right?
Right.
It's like where do you belong?
True?
You act more one way towards this
Do you-
group and then the other group, right?
Right.
Do you think
So,
it's
but
when
does that make you that kind of whatever that they are?
I mean, yeah, but you just fit into.
Yeah, but
This is where you have
you
the
won't call
option.
yourself.
You have
if
the
I'm
option.
Asian, I won't call myself I'm Mexican.
Right. You just hang out with them.
Exactly.
You don't
can't change
change
your
who you
ethnicity.
are.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But I think it comes to a point where it's
You
like
can't change whether you're black or white either.
well,
Exactly.
you know when people say like, "Oh, there goes Richard."
I can change
that dude
anything with
acts
Photoshop.
black. Or if you have a black friend, like, "Oh, he acts so white." You never hear somebody say, "That dude acts so Mexican. He acts so Asian."
Well,
so
Like
you know what I mean?
Malibu's most wanted. What is he?
That's who he was deep down inside.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Good reference.
That's a funny movie.
Yeah.
But do you think that's what it is? Where he's like, people just say, I act this way, so
Right.
maybe that's why.
That must be who I am, but I don't know, man. It's this shit confuses
I think
me.
it's more deep than we would really know.
Well, yeah. I mean,
know?
we're not going through it.
Probably. It probably is. From the outside looking in, it seems weird.
He would be somebody I'd want to talk to.
Well, does that make us?
You know?
Does
Like,
that make us sound
why-
bad though? Because we're judging on the appearance.
I mean, this whole thing is a discussion of
Well,
appearance. Yeah.
I mean, bro.
How do
okay.
you identify?
Because he's
Let's
obviously
keep
black.
it real.
But we're saying,
Let's-
but
let's-
he's saying he's white.
I'm
But
trying-
it doesn't make any sense, right? Because he's
What's
black.
the problem with him just being himself? And
see, and that's where I was trying to
why
go.
can't he
Yeah.
just accept this is me? This is cool. Whatever.
That's my thing.
Why does he have to all of a sudden? He's like, I'm a white guy.
I don't.
Why can't
That's
you just be
stupid to
you?
me, and that's why I'm like, this is like a mental issue where you feel that you are so incapable of embracing who you are. You choose to do this because it was a choice.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like I'm being disrespectful because it's like I'm taking it and I'm just throwing out all of whatever he feels or what he thinks out the door and just say, you're being an asshole. You know what I'm saying? But I know there's people who feel that way about gay people, and I don't agree with that. But what's the difference between this and gay people?
A lot.
Tell me, like what? Like that's what I'm saying. I know there is. And that's why I'm like, I don't feel that way about gay people. But this reminds me of situations when you first heard or gay was becoming popular. And I don't mean popular in the sense of people saying, hey, that's the thing to do, but being more out in the open and people being aware of it when it became, a popular topic. People looked at it the way I'm looking at this.
Well, I mean, the whole gay thing, it's like, I have a lot of gay friends, and they've come out to me and they're like, I felt this way for a long time, even before I was like, mature, when I was younger in elementary school.
Right.
So it's like, that's literally their sexual preference in the same way that, you're homophobic or whatever, how you feel.
Right.
I don't think it's any different than like a guy liking a girl or a guy liking a guy,
Right. I
because
think
that's
it's more
that's the same.
it's more on a
just what-
biological level.
Exactly, it's what your preference is. So this guy, it's like,
He's an asshole.
well, I don't. It's like I don't. It's not that I agree with or disagree with. I think his output on it is odd.
It's weird. And I
Yeah.
can only feel that it's
Like, what if?
stupid.
Okay, say this next week. I come in. I'm like, guys, I think I identify as an Asian.
Bro.
It's like, why can't you just be you and just feel how you feel?
Exactly. I don't know. But my reaction to it would be, you're a fucking idiot. what are you talking about?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just how I'm gonna feel. I can't look at his situation and start to
Be on his side.
yeah. I can't be on your side. I can't look at it and say, well, maybe you feel that way deep down, or you were born that way, or I can't do that. Like, I can't defend this the same way I would defend a gay person. This is ridiculous to me. Gay people are just normal people. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't get it, and I don't even know what did it solve.
What do you mean?
Yeah, why was he even on? Like, how did he come
solve?
about?
It's probably just something.
Did they just find him on the street and be like, you know what? He looks like he's got a good
I
story.
mean, I don't. It's not like it's a new thing, I mean, the whole transracial thing is relatively new. I mean, 2017 was the NW whatever CP.
Man, I wish I knew her name.
Her name is Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, Dolezal.
Yeah, there you go.
Dolezal. That was crazy. I just had to like throw that out of my mind when I first heard about it. I was like, that's just ridiculous. And she's been doing it for years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't try to get into her reasoning or anything. I was just like, that's crazy, and didn't think about it. But now that it's coming up again with another situation, it's like, I guess my issue is, at what point do people being different or doing different things can we separate and truly define, hey, this is dumb and wrong. This is something different. You know what I mean? Like, we can put people being mad at gay people or whatever. Hey, leave them alone. Gay people are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Stop. They're regular people, and we understand that.
They've been around
the
for
new
literally
shit
ever.
the new shit that keeps coming, transracial now is the thing. When
I got some
are we
bad
going to put
one.
our hand up on some of those shit and say, hey, that's dumb? No. You don't get to come over here with gay people because you saw what happened with it. No, you're dumb. Stop doing that shit.
Wait,
That's
why-
not a thing.
Why are we comparing gay people to transracial?
I'm only doing it because it was something out of the norm that we had to try to understand and accept, as opposed to treating it the way we were treating it.
Right.
Do we have to do that with everything? Are we going to do that with
Well, I
transracial?
actually.
Yes,
This
we
is
do?
no.
but-
I got something that I was gonna bring up in terms of things that are mentally off versus just accept it because that's what it is. Like there was this thing, I don't remember what network it was on, but it was like these people that are in love with like objects, like things that aren't
TLC.
even sentient.
It was on
Everything.
TLC.
So
TLC.
this one girl was like in love with like it was like a fence, like a picket fence, and she would
marry it?
Yeah,
get
you
on
can
top of
marry
it, and she would like get off on it,
Think-
and I'm like, what happened in your life where you got to that point?
And can we say
That's weird.
that's weird? Something's wrong with you. You don't get to come into the acceptance.
Yeah, and there's
of
another
normal
girl that was
society.
like in love with like this like I don't know.
There was a dude in
it was
love
like
with
a
his car.
Yeah, or like she was like in love with like a roller coaster thing. I don't remember what it was. It was like a huge. I don't remember the
There's
exact.
a lot of weird fucks in the
So
world.
it's like,
okay,
is that just a mental? Is that an actual
it's a
mental?
mental. That's why I said I think this is a mental issue, because it reminds me of shit like that. There's a mental issue. There's something mentally wrong that pushed you to this point that you're trying to normalize this weird shit you're doing.
But it's like, are people actually that mentally messed up, or is there something that caused them to be that way?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a social thing where it's like, I feel connected with nothing, but
I'm in
I
love with
really
the roller
want to
coaster?
get off on
Yeah.
this picket fence?
Right. And then you also have the thing for attention, where people maybe
Whitewash that fence.
Are we doing?
Sorry.
Is some people doing things for attention? Is it?
I kind of think so.
You know what I mean?
Everybody can do that. I mean, look at the Jesse thing that happened. That's attention
idiot.
number
That's for
one.
attention.
He's an idiot.
Full
Idiot.
circle?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel like we need to have a threshold of bullshit that we accept and normalize. That is one of those things I don't know if I ever want to be normalized. And I don't understand it right now. That's the thing. I don't understand
How
it.
many? It's one of those things too, where it's like, out of the billions of people that we have in the world, how many people are actually like that? Is it even something that needs to be brought up?
But this is the same thing people used to say about gay people, is what I'm saying. There was a time where it was. It's not. That
I mean, there's still a time people try to do that with conversion therapy, which is total
Right.
bullshit.
all of that. But that's what I mean. Like,
It's like they don't agree with it, so it's wrong. It's like no. Put away your beliefs and everything. It's fine. It's not harming you.
That's how I feel about this, because I remember the time when gay was not accepted and people would have discussions the way we're discussing this transracial thing but it would be about gay people. We got understanding because there was a time where I was like, ew, gay. And now I'm like, ew, gay. But now, I understand it and I accept it and I don't have a problem with it. And, none of that. But like I said, we were having this conversation about gay people, but it wind up people getting understanding about it and it moving into normalcy of the world because it is nothing else you can do but respect the person for being who they are, right? And that's why we respect gay people. I don't want that to happen with this bullshit is what I'm saying.
I don't think it will. I think if
Are you
I,
sure?
I think if
Can we be sure?
I mean, I don't think
if
we
he
can be sure
never
of
showed us that
anything,
video, I would have never known.
Well,
about it.
isn't
Yeah.
this kind of the same thing as like
If Reddit never
transgender?
existed,
it
Wouldn't
was
it be the same thing as transgender then?
the dark places of the internet.
Well, transgender, that's
It's the
I
same
think,
thing. It's like
Well,
I
so
feel,
that's my
I
issue with
feel-
this, is
I
that-
feel like I'm a girl, or I'm a man, but I feel like I'm a girl.
I thought he was
so
just
should-
admitting to that. I was like, whoa, whoa, oh
You get what I'm
man.
trying to say?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be same things like, oh, I'm black, but I feel like I'm white?
I think that's what this is. This is a play on that, and it's like,
And is
those
it detracting from that? Because
It is. I feel like it is, and that's why I don't want it because it's like those are people that you respect because there's a biological thing going on that makes them feel the way that they feel, that makes them attracted to the things that they're attracted to, and something that they cannot control. It's not a choice; it's who they are. So that's why we respect them. I don't want them to take that idea and try to apply it to something as dumb.
Well, why can't it be like that as well?
It's because it's not.
What do you mean though? Like how?
Okay,
'Cause,
I
if
mean, you
you're-
know
if
why?
you're
Let me tell you
male-
why. Let me tell you why.
Yeah,
Let me tell you why. Black, white, Italian,
I'm the only one that got it
right?
black, white, Italian, all of these things are nationalities, right? Or
Ethnicities.
ethnicities. There's no definition of what that ethnicity is. So how can you feel black? How can you talk black? There's no such thing. That's the part that everybody misses.
Are you trying to say like if you woke up and you're like, you know what, I feel like an Italian man.
So now all of a sudden,
No, I'm an
now I'm
Italian
gonna
guy.
grow my hair out and I'm gonna start, eating.
Oh God, here
I'm
it
gonna
goes.
start-
Here we go.
I'm gonna grow my
Start
hair.
making my own
Right?
pasta, bring it to work.
Exactly. So I would just take all the stereotypes about Italian people and start becoming that because I feel Italian. No,
You can enjoy the culture and not just be
Exactly.
Exactly. That's just the culture.
So
but
everybody that likes Chinese takeout, they're Chinese.
that doesn't define you as that person is what I'm saying. Because if somebody like this guy right here, he's playing golf. The video they have him
Really?
doing, right?
Oh,
No,
man.
that's what I'm saying. The video that they had.
Wait,
him
wait,
do-
I changed my mind. Yeah, no,
look,
I'm kidding.
The video that they
Tiger
had him
Woods
doing,
Now that he's playing golf,
disagreeing
they
with
had
all
him
of you.
playing
Right?
golf.
Like, that's what I was saying. Tiger Woods.
All of a
He
sudden,
plays golf.
now that he's identified as a white person, he plays golf. That doesn't make you feel some kind of way. Like, hold on, white people aren't just golf players. That doesn't
If
define.
he was
that's not who we are.
curling, maybe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
if he was playing hockey,
Oh, there you go. Hockey.
then he'd be a Canadian.
But that's why I don't respect this because all they're doing is taking the stereotypes of what people are and saying, now that I am this, what defines this is all of this bullshit that is just a stereotype. That's why I don't respect it. That's why it's different than transgender to me. And that's why I'm like, that's fucking
I
bullshit.
get what you're saying now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
God, what's wrong with people, man? What the fuck is wrong
What
with
do I
people?
always say?
It's
The world
'cause-
is a
'cause they
fucking
wanna-
piece of shit.
People
Yeah.
want to put labels on it.
It's
That's
true.
what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
I don't know.
Everything
It's
has to be a label.
Obviously,
Yeah.
look at Tiger Woods, right? He
Well,
does-
once you have a
he does
label, it
everything,
becomes
like,
normalized.
He doesn't do all what he's black, obviously, but he doesn't do what regular black people do, right?
Right, but there's no such thing as what regular black people do. Is what I'm saying.
See,
Didn't Michael Jordan? Wasn't he a golfer too?
He was.
he played golf. He
Yeah,
tried
baseball.
baseball.
Now he's a white guy that plays golf.
Exactly.
No,
Was
Exactly.
Michael Jordan white? The history books are going to say Michael Jordan was white. This is fucking
Exactly.
crazy.
See,
This is what happens. This
but
is
the
what
fact
happens.
that he called himself white, that's the problem.
That's the problem. He could do everything he's doing right now. Feel
Yeah,
like
do
he
whatever
wanted
he
to
wants.
fit into his community. He could feel all that stuff. But
Yeah.
the fact that you have to say now I'm
I'm
a white guy is the problem.
Yeah.
yeah, it's damaging for both parties.
Yeah.
It's like
It is.
You could just be yourself, dude. It's cool.
You-
No one's gonna be like, you need to have a ticket to be the white guy now.
Right.
Just be white.
It's
Be
fucking
yourself.
crazy. You can get okay. All right. That shit is disturbing. That shit really disturbs me.
Oh.
That was crazy.
That's not the most disturbing thing I
It's
have
crazy
for us.
because when you look at him, it's like, whoa.
Yeah,
That
he's
he-
a
that-
big, really black guy,
Yeah,
like dark skinned black. Black, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I'm just like, whoa.
You're like, hold on, you think you're white? You're not even light skinned. What are you doing? Like,
You can't even do the face.
no, you can't. Fucking, man, that was crazy. All right, what do we want to get into now? What else is down this rabbit hole with you fucking weirdos?
I mean, does it get more weird than the guy who calls himself the Poo Wizard?
So who is the Pooh Wizard?
Yeah.
What is the Pooh Wizard?
The Pooh Wizard is an artist from New Zealand.
What is his art?
Like an artist,
What is his
like,
art?
Like a
Here, let's see some picture.
like
it-
he paints.
Is this,
Yeah, he paints, so that's
Wait, does he paint with poop?
on his face.
No.
Isn't that
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, the I was thinking that. Wow, this is America.
Who is America?
Look at this artist.
That's all poop.
No, that's paint.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, damn, how do you get that?
was
Nice,
like, his whole
that's
body
a
is
nice
covered
shade
in
of
colors.
color. What do you
Yeah,
have to
like,
eat
yeah,
to have that?
But that on his face is paint.
Oh God! Wait, does he poop? Or
It's his poop.
So is
He
that
eats his poop.
is
No,
that
no, he just puts it on his
Wait, like, is his art?
is that
good?
part of his ritual?
What does
Like
it look
he
like?
can't draw or paint unless he has poop on his face.
This is disgusting. First of all,
No, he's just an artist that uses poop, right? That's basically it.
He is a 37-year-old New Zealand native, now calling Australia home, and has declared himself the Pooh Wizard. Let's see. Well,
catchy name.
Yeah.
Catchy name.
He
I mean,
uses,
that's why I stopped. I was like, Pooh Wizard.
like his everyday life
It's
involves
barely
poop.
Amos poop. No. That's disgusting. Listen, no, fuck that guy. I don't get it.
What exactly does
So-
he do besides smear it on his face?
So he's trying to challenge convention. In the world where everything is being sterilized and actors are being viciously beaten up over their race and sexuality, these issues certainly need to be addressed. So on and so far. So where does it say this? I don't mean, God, I don't mind being the butt of the joke.
Ah, I see.
Humor is the best vessel for serious issues. For too long, the
But I'm
anus
not
has been
laughing.
associated with homo, pervert, or dirty, which makes men scared of exploring these parts of their body. The rectum has put... God, sorry. The rectum has been put out of bounds, and it's time to reconnect
With the rectum.
with the rectum.
Oh,
I get it now. I get it.
So
I
he's
totally
challenging
get it. I get
convention.
it. He just wants to do something different.
Oh, okay. So he's not.
is he
being like
trying
an
to
asshole.
say
No. Like, he...
play with
It
play
would
with
be
the
different.
butt now?
Ah,
Is that
nah,
what he's trying to say?
he
Wink,
just
wink.
say-
Like, hey, ladies.
Get in touch with your poo.
He's
That's
just
all.
like,
Get
you
in
got
touch
the
with your
wrong
butt.
idea about the butt.
Yeah.
Get in touch with yourself. This has really just been a debate about
Getting.
self-identity. Why are so many people afraid to be themselves?
Right.
I mean,
Like, yeah.
I will say
Because people get judged.
sometimes with art, people that are artistic, whether it's music or painting or drawing. Sometimes that's what you got to do to let it out.
To
like there's
stand
like,
out?
No, I mean like if that's what makes him feel creative, because there's a lot of people that like going to music studios, and they're like, I can't be comfortable unless there's like rose petals all over the, thing like that, or candles. That makes me feel
So
creative.
the poop-
if his poo smeared on his face
Makes
makes him feel creative, that's cool.
It gets him outside of that box.
Who's he
and
harming?
He's not harming anybody. That's why I'm not really mad
Unless
at
there's
him.
somebody in the room that has to smell it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him. I understand what he's doing now. I'm not mad at him about it. It's kind of ridiculous, but I get why he's doing it, and I guess that's his thing.
Right.
Doesn't mean I have to partake or any of that, in any of it. I don't.
You mean to tell me you don't want to put poo on your face?
Nah, it never crossed my mind. Never crossed my mind.
I want to know, I don't want to know, but I'm oddly curious. Like, does he just do it in the toilet and then he,
He probably poops in something.
Does he
and
catch
just-
it? Is
man.
that-
No, he
Oh,
probably.
that's a good one.
he
I'm going to
probably-
keep that one.
He's
He probably poops in a bucket and then picks out which
in
one's
an
nice.
outhouse?
Hey, listen, we're talking about poop way too long. This is disgusting. No.
I mean, we were talking about pee earlier.
We were.
Yeah.
God damn it. Leave that alone. Listen, let's get into some more conventional topics that other people would actually. You had something. You wanted to
Somebody
speak
else, yeah. I just got horrible things from
of.
the internet.
They got poop. God damn. What is wrong with people? Mezzy, what you got for us?
All right. So one thing I wanted to bring up was useless space and how people, in my opinion, they buy way too many things and they have too much space, and I guess for example, like say you're single or it's you and like one other person, and you buy a house and it's like 3,000 square feet and you have 6 rooms, and half of the space in the house you don't even use. Why do people feel like they need to do that? Like because like your parents are like, oh, you need to buy a house, you need to buy this, and this.
Right.
It's like, I feel like as a community, as a nation, there's just people have too much. They upgrade their phones all the time.
Yeah.
They buy all these computers, and it's like the mentality of the media saying you need this, and this.
Well, that's what you
Where-
just pegged it.
Yeah.
No, I know, but it's like
it's like how society sees
Society-
it.
I guess
If you
it's like
don't-
people think
if you don't
if
have
they
this,
if they
then you're not like
they feel like, oh, if you have this, you're going to be happy.
Yeah,
But
that's the misconception.
there's people that have everything and then they hang themselves.
You're damn right. You're damn right. And, but that's the problem.
So it's like, what would you need to like feel
What I
comfortable?
need?
Like yeah, like in a house.
Honestly, I need an 85-inch screen. You want me to be honest? This is what I need.
I mean, that's
85.
small.
I thought it
mean,
was 75
Nah,
last time.
he's like
75
Samsung makes a
75
TV
is
over
what I'm
200
shooting,
inches.
you know.
yeah, they do.
Hey.
I don't need that big. 85 will be fine. I'm going after the 75 in real life, but in my dreams, it's 85. My PlayStation. I only need one room, honestly.
One big room.
One room.
No walls?
One room, one window, one door.
Toilet, maybe.
Oh, 2 rooms.
Yeah.
2 rooms.
Okay, so
Bathroom.
in this question, let me disclaimer: you're by yourself.
That's
It's just-
I already assumed.
You already are in your.
I already assumed I already assumed that was alone.
Toilet and
Yeah,
kitchen's in the same room.
So
man.
basically, whatever's important to you.
Yeah,
That's
all I
what should
need.
matter the most.
Without going like overboard
You
there.
ever saw
but
that
people
video?
are so sensitive to.
Status and how it
Exactly.
looks.
Yeah.
That's why people do the things they do.
Yeah.
Buy the things that
Like,
they buy.
why
that
would
they
you
don't
want to
need.
go in debt and buy like an extremely expensive car just to be like, check out my status? What does that do? What does that really do?
Bitches.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I mean,
But
unless
if you're a good person, the bitches will come.
You're right. Well,
But
no,
no pun
no,
intended.
they won't.
They don't.
There's a lot of good guys walking around here with no women.
What's their fault?
No, it's
That is.
the society because they don't have a status. They don't have a way to introduce the way girls are now. The way a lot of women are. I can't speak for women. Okay, don't judge me. But this is how I feel.
This is a safe place.
A lot of women.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, a lot of women have been taught. I have a daughter, and I'm telling my daughter, do not allow some bum ass dude to enter your life. Make sure they got some business about themselves. Make sure they are accomplishing things. They're intelligent. They have a way to
No,
support you.
It's true because
I'm the dad, and that's what I'm putting in her head.
It's true because I don't know about other cultures, but Asian culture is just exactly like that. Like you don't ever go to China or Hong Kong, whatever they have over there.
Right.
Unless that dude has money, family, like a name for himself.
Yeah. You can't.
Yeah.
Because you want your women to feel valuable.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, the way people validate themselves sometimes are through what they possess, but also through the type of people they associate in their relationships. So, if you want to be valued, and I'm telling you you're worth this much, I'm telling my daughter she's worth the fucking world. I'm telling her she's worth the world. Don't accept anything less than the best from the man that's trying to be with you. That's my advice to
Yeah,
my
but the
daughter.
best doesn't have to be like everything's expensive. What if?
That's why I say
what if- yeah,
intelligence,
like, what if the-
respect,
what if
all
the-
of that.
Do you feel like it's a pressure? It's funny. I think everything we're talking about is like old, traditions that need to just die out. Kind of thing.
Challenge convention.
Some-
Offend people.
You can challenge convention, but then at the same time, I don't know. Okay, so think about this. You have a daughter. If you had a daughter.
Oh, God.
Right now, both of you guys got daughters, right?
Surprise!
Surprise, surprise. Both of y'all got a daughter, right? And your daughter is 21 years old.
Dang, I just found out now.
Yeah, she's going.
Whoops.
She's going to college. She's about to graduate as a doctor. She's about to be successful.
Good for her.
And then she comes home with this dude. The dude works at Radio Shack.
Oh, I
He's-
miss
he's
Radio
the reason
Shack.
they
Can you
went out
pick
of
a different
business.
store?
Yeah.
I miss Radio Shack.
He works at Media Play.
He works at FYE. He works somewhere like that, right? He works at one of these spots.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Walmart.
Wow.
He's driving a jalopy, some piece of crap.
Is that an ice cream?
I don't know. Everybody calls jalopies beat up cars. I don't know what a jalopy is. It's an Italian thing. Or I thought. I don't know. I'm joking. I don't know. But yeah. So, and she walks in the door with this guy. You see him get out the car, and you're like, why is my beautiful daughter, my great, successful, about to be amazing daughter, getting out of this piece of crap car with this dude who still has his FYE tag and shirt on? That's not who she's supposed to be with. She needs someone better than that. And what do you mean by better? You haven't even spoken a word to him. Are you going? Would you feel that way?
All you saw was your
His appearance,
initial
yeah.
appearance.
Right.
Which again,
What would
is
What would be your
important.
reaction? That's what I want to know. What's your reaction at that moment?
That's a good question.
Hey, let me get to know this guy. Come on in, FYE guy. What's your name? Huh? What do you do?
I'm like, wow. I mean, truthfully, there's two things. I'd be like,
You better give me a discount on CDs.
yes.
Who buys CDs?
I don't know.
Me? No, I do, but that's besides the point. I feel like, because this is me as the way I was raised, she would know better than me the kind of person
That's a
she'd want to be with.
good
But
point.
on the other hand, I'd be like, this is kind of interesting. Not what I would expect. But again, to bring back what my dad said, you don't get with somebody to please your parents. He told me that.
No, it's true. I mean,
No,
I think
that's
that's
definitely true. Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. A lot of people wouldn't feel that way. They'd be like, what the hell are you doing?
So you're honestly going to let them in your house?
Maybe.
You're going to let them come inside and sit down at your table and talk?
Well, I mean, I'd rather do that than just like, hey, go take my daughter.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
too. I would invite him in, but I'm going to pull my daughter to the side and be like,
Where did you
what's
meet
going
this?
on?
It's more of a challenge for the parent, which I understand, because they want
It
their
is.
kid to be with, like, what you said again, quote, the best.
Somebody, yeah.
But again, they know what the best would be for them.
no, they don't.
Sure they do.
No, they don't.
Isn't she like a doctor or whatever?
Yes.
Well, I was going to
That's
say,
pretty
yeah,
good.
she's a doctor. I hope she.
Oh, yeah.
If you go through that much school and you pick a shitty person to be with,
it happens all the time.
I
Isn't
know it
What do you
does,
mean?
but like,
What do you mean?
He goes to the Christmas party. All he got is the FYE shirt. He has no other clothes.
right.
only the work clothes is khakis.
I'm saying you're going to judge and pay attention to that relationship closer than you would somebody who you thought had it going. You know what the
Exactly.
scary thing
That's very
is?
true.
The person that got it going is probably the one that's going to hurt her more.
oh no, exactly. He's the one that can afford.
I try to remember that all the time because it's like that's probably the guy that's going to cheat.
'Cause he
on
feels
her or
like
do
he can
some
get with
crazy
anybody.
shit. Exactly. So it's going to be a harder relationship. But even if the girl is with the FYE guy and they have a great relationship, you start to see the struggles that they're going through because he can't provide. You start to see her being used or feel like she's being used because her success is feeding him as opposed to the other way around. You don't start feeling some kind of way about it. I do. I'm be like, hey, why? He should be paying your bills than you paying his bills. He should be paying when y'all go out instead of you paying. You're not gonna feel that. You're just gonna be like, it is what it is. I can't tell you how to love. You know best. Or you're gonna pull her to the side and be like, is he giving you what you need? Yeah, he loves me. Okay, besides the fucking love, is he helping you sustain? Is he helping you become better? Is he providing for you? Because isn't that what we're supposed to do as men? Provide.
But that's the thing. Like, what's more important?
What is more important?
What comes down to it? What's more important? Love or what's the word?
Happiness,
Like love and happiness, or
stability.
stability, right?
Stability.
If you had to choose one or the other,
Well,
what
what
would
if-
you choose?
Well, that's if you believe in love.
Exactly, right? But what do we learn about what is relationships? Relationship just supposed to be about stability? You're supposed to just be with somebody that
Well, there's been a lot of, people I've known and then, people I've talked to that know people. A lot of people stay in relationships even if it's not working because
They're afraid to be
they're,
alone.
they're afraid to be alone, or they're so comfortable in the relationship with money and where they live that they don't even like the person fully.
but they'll put up with it.
But
Right.
it's easier to stay than leave.
Definitely.
Exactly.
And a lot of people feel that way.
Definitely.
Is that how it should be?
No.
I
But-
don't know.
It's
Is
it would,
that how it
we
should
would all
be?
be lying if we say we wouldn't understand why people do that.
No, I definitely understand. I completely
Because
understand.
imagine if
Yeah.
you're comfortable and then all of a sudden half of that goes away, and then you have to figure out where to live.
it's a
It's
whole
like-
new life
That's
that
why
you
it
don't want
just
to do.
comes down to what you choose.
It's like you're not going to get everything out of anybody.
Oh, of course
So you
not.
can love somebody and feel like you're so in love and like them and they're great, but there's a part of it that you're missing. And then when you commit to that person for a while, the part that you're missing seems to get bigger. It's still only 2% of that person that's missing of something that you want. But since you've been with them for 8 years and you haven't had that 2% of stuff in your life for 8 fucking years, it starts to become a bigger issue. It's like, damn, I like it when girls rub my back. Whatever it is. You know what I mean? I like somebody that's a little more affectionate. Everything else about them is perfect. Everything's great. They're amazing. You love them to death. But the only 2% they're missing
just not
is that they are more affectionate and rub your back and they're always just, on you.
Couldn't you talk about it?
Yeah, and it never
Can you
changes
just be
because
like,
it's not
"Hey,
in them.
rub my back"?
It's not in them. What if it's not in them and they just can't do it? And
That'd be weird. I'm like, that is selfish.
they're like, you know, they
Ask
try.
for one back rub.
See, but I think this is okay. The type of guy I am, I'm more sustainable. Like I will take care of you and all this stuff, but emotionally, you guys already know how I am. I'm a fucking
Yes,
You're a
you are.
Slytherin.
You're a savage, dude.
yeah, I am. But like, I don't care about emotions. You know, like that's how I was raised that way. I actually like took care of myself. Like I didn't take care of myself, but the way I was raised is kind of like I always been on my own.
Right.
So it's always been about me. But it's not like I don't really have that emotional side of me when it comes to like.
So you'll be missing the 2%. Some lady's gonna get with you.
No, the thing is, I could do it.
But it's not gonna be genuine,
Exactly.
Tien's kind
and
of.
that's noticeable.
You're actually like me a lot because, like, for the longest time, I was very. I mean, I'm still a pretty independent person, where I was like affectionate with people was like no, like I'm just like this is me and whatever. You kind of have to be with the right person to grow that way. Even now, it's like sometimes it's kind of hard to just let myself be that person.
Yeah.
You know,
It's tough.
It's tough to just let yourself out like that.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like as I gotten older
raised with
though,
it.
and through the relationships, I feel like for me, I think what I would want is to get the what's it called, like the foundation first, like all that stuff before emotional comes into play.
Yeah.
Me too. I think over time I realized, I'm married, so been through a little bit of shit. The team, being a friend of somebody, first of all, I think that's more important than stability,
Yeah, totally.
love, all that shit. If you are, genuine friends with somebody where y'all can just connect on a friendship level, that'll get you through the times when you're not so stable. It'll get you through the times when you're not so in love with each other. It'll get you through way more. Just being able to be friends with that person and genuinely having their best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit will get you through. So
True.
the love thing, that's the first thing I look for. The second thing would be stability, because the love is fleeting, bro. Like, I've been married, and there's been times where you're not as in love as you was 2 months ago. But then 6 months from now, you're more in love than you've ever been. You know what I'm saying? When people say, I love you more every day. No, you don't.
That's
No, the fuck
actually
you don't.
yeah.
That's a changing
it's
variable.
a sad truth
No,
though.
It is.
You don't.
And I think a lot of it is like maybe like a personal thing, you know, because
Yeah, it
everybody
is.
has their own
because
fucked up brain.
people aren't this consistent flow of emotion. Everything's up and down. Everything
Yeah, it's
moves
always
around.
gonna be up and
and if
down.
there's two different people trying to match, it's like
Dude,
this
it's-
all the fucking
yeah.
time. It's just up and down, and you never know. Sometimes you're all at the same peak, and sometimes both of you at the same bottom. Sometimes one at the top, one's at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's just never on the same page all the time. So
It's
that's
ki-
why
It's
people
not easy
tell
to
you.
make Gogeta,
It's kind of
bro.
like it's like everybody has their set in ways, you know, and then when you're with that person, and then you have to like live together or be together, and you're just like you get angry for stupid shit.
Right.
You're like, I would have not put the salt and pepper there, and then you yell about it for 45 minutes. You're like, why
It's
did I
salt
do
and pepper.
this?
What are
And
we
a
arguing about?
location.
You know what
Yeah.
we're arguing about? We're arguing about that 6 years later, I realized I'm still sharing my life with somebody else. And that's what it comes down to. Because, damn it, I don't even know if we were made to share. I don't know if people were made to share their space.
That's why you need your own walls.
Bro, I've been thinking about this a lot. Not that I just been thinking about it a lot, and it's like, as an adult, you finally get that freedom, right? What do you do with that freedom? You get fucking married to somebody who takes away all of your freedom. You no longer have freedom. You only have compromise. You don't have freedom anymore. I'm not free. I'm in a compromising situation where I compromise with them, they compromise with me. And over time, sometimes you don't want to compromise. You know what? I want that fucking salt to be right here because that's where I believe it belongs. And I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks because I'm grown, I pay bills, and this is my goddamn house. That's how you feel at some point in time after you've been in a relationship for so goddamn long. It wears on you. Because when I was in my own apartment, it didn't matter.
Well, let's bring it back to what I said about space.
Yeah.
You're talking about compromise. I feel as an individual, it's important for everybody to have, you know, I know that's a very like privileged thing to say, but let's be honest.
You just checked your own privilege.
Yeah, I did. I was like,
You
damn. I was like, well, let me fix that. But you know, okay, let me explain. If you're with somebody, you know, it's important to have your own space, whether that's a corner, if that's what you're comfortable with, or four walls. There's a quote by Stephen King that says, if you're a writer and you don't have a place that has four walls and a door, you'll never write a book.
That's true.
I feel that about people's sanity.
Yeah.
True.
If you're with somebody, you need that place. You need to remember, like, truthfully, like, my fiance, she'll travel a lot. She comes back, and I remember why I want to be with her, why I love her.
Right.
But if you're in the same room all the time,
Yeah.
you're like,
We had an
I
opportunity to miss her.
need to have that space.
You had an opportunity to miss her.
So then you won't feel like you're
An opportunity to enjoy your own space.
Yeah.
And now you're willing to do more compromise, more time.
Exactly. So,
compromising.
for example, instead of, say you want to be on the computer, you want to be in a different room.
Right.
That's fine. So when your guys are together and you're, quote, compromising, you don't care. You're like, cool, this is great. We're together.
This is fine. I'm willing to do this.
You let yourself be.
You've had
yourself.
a piece of those other things that normally you would miss out on if you never make time or space to do those things. Like, you do need your own space. I feel like that's why I want a man cave. That's why men want the man cave. I can go down there and do what I want. Yeah. Don't come down here.
I want an actual cave.
There's
like a real one.
beer bottles
So do I.
everywhere. You want a bat cave? Like,
No, a man cave. But an actual cave.
cave. Oh.
As long as I can fly into it,
yeah,
that'd be cool.
you can have a helicopter pad down there.
Yeah.
Just, a room full of cool gadgets and shit. Let's take out the flamethrower.
But yeah, man, I think I've been this circle back to how much space is too much space and who's wasting space.
Yeah.
With people overbuying. Like, I live in a 4-bedroom house right now, but I have 3 children. So not every inch of the house is used, but
That'd be impressive.
it's perfect. I feel like it's working out very well as far as we're utilizing our space the right way, and we also still have space for people to go be by themselves if need be. Once I get my basement finished, it'll be even better. But then 7-8 years from now, my kid's gonna be in college, moved out. Should I downsize, or do we just have more space to separate and be ourselves?
How much more space would you have?
If we have all 3 of them left, we would have 3 extra rooms.
Wow.
3 extra rooms, a full basement.
That's a
living room.
lot. That's a lot of room.
Well, no, you don't have to really
is.
downsize. Just use that room wisely.
3 extra rooms.
Oh, you could have your home
Airbnb,
studio.
you can
Probably
do,
a full basement.
You can do
Podcast
full
studio.
basement, podcast, Airbnb, rent it out.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
You can
Money.
rent out the basement.
Like, you can make money. If you
I
want
was
to.
thinking about
That'd
that
be
too.
dope.
I
A lot of people do that now.
Torture dungeon.
Whoa.
Okay. All right. I feel like my house is like the perfect size for me now, and when I, as we grow, and they leave and come back, because somebody's going to come back to live with us for a year and then go again. It's perfect for that. Like, I don't want to get a bigger house. I don't want a smaller house.
That's good. Yeah. It's good to be content.
Well, I mean, you thought it through.
Oh yeah.
Some people don't think it through. They're just like, oh, big house, buy it.
Nah. This is our first house, and I don't feel like I'm never gonna leave, but I don't feel like I have to. If we choose to leave, we would look at something possibly newer or something like that to, get more modern things or something that maybe built a little better. It wouldn't be bigger than what we have. It would probably be smaller because we'd be looking towards everybody leaving. But I'm happy because I feel like I will have that space because me and my wife, we do that. She go over there and she do her thing on her phone, computer for a while. I'm down there playing a game for a while, not caring. In our office, we only have one office right now. That's a problem. that is a fucking problem. Because that's where I do like research for the podcast and do stuff like that. But she's also in there at the same time doing work. And I'm like, this is not cool. So when they do move out, there'll be a separate podcast room, separate office, which is also going to be separate from the basement. That's where we're going. I don't know about you guys, but
the basement?
Well, yeah, the basement is going to be completed. It's going to be full basement at some point in time. Possibly rent out, possibly turn into a studio, possibly turn it into like, man cave / I got like 3.
A lot of slashes.
It's 3 rooms on there, so slash it up.
You can have like a control room, a live room, and you can have like a studio.
Yeah, it could be. I can't even talk about that on air.
Be like infinity wall in there.
I gotta
be like Jamie Foxx. Throwing parties.
I got a lot of plans going on down there, so I can't really talk about those connected to the podcast. So talk about that later. Yeah.
That's why I said torture dungeon, man. Not telling us about it.
Yeah, torture dungeon. We'll do that.
Yeah, we're just gonna do a torture dungeon.
Oh man, hey guys, I had a lot of fun here. You motherfuckers are crazy, interesting, and weird, and I think that's how we like it here in Safe Space, huh?
Yep.
All right, so there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This was the Safe Space on 52s and Smoke Presents. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please check us out. We will be on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you see stuff, we will be there. And we'll be coming with another episode pretty soon. Keep your ears open. Made with Real Podcast will be starting very soon. Keep your eyes aware for that. The 52s and Smokes fan page will be up and running shortly. Also, be on the lookout for Social Media House. Anybody in the Long Island, New York area, if you're looking for a place to record, a studio, Social Media House is your place to be. Check them out on Spotify at Social Media House LI. That's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you. Holla at everybody. Peace.